Hi everybody, I'm Susan from Allegheny Roots. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to make this solar eclipse crochet coaster. So a quick story behind how this coaster came to be. We have a solar eclipse getting ready to take place on April 8th, 2024. And where I live in Ohio, we happen to be in the path of full totality. And so everybody's been gearing up for this for some time. Everyone's been really excited about it. And I wanted to do something to commemorate this event. So my sister had found a picture of a crocheted solar eclipse coaster and sent it to me because I've been working on coasters recently. And I couldn't find a YouTube tutorial or a pattern to make it. So I made this from the photograph she had sent me from someone else who had made one. And so I just kind of took what I know how to do and kind of figured out how to make one myself. So since I couldn't find a YouTube tutorial, I thought I would do my own. So if you want to make this coaster as well, you can follow along. So let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so sorry about the setup. This is my first tutorial I've ever done, so I don't have a great setup. So sorry, you can see my tripod stand in the frame, but we'll work on that for any future videos I may do. So let's talk about our materials we're going to need. So we're going to need a 5mm, don't know if you can see that. We're gonna need a 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, some scissors, and we're going to need 100% cotton yarn. I am using Lily Sugar and Cream yarn because it's readily available in my area. So we're going to use black, yellow, and red. So these are just scraps that I've used left over from other projects I've done. So you don't have to go out and buy brand new unless you happen to not have these things. So here, this is the yarn we're going to use. Also, if you don't want to use red, you can use orange. I just happen to have red. If I had any orange left over, I'd probably be using orange. But like I said, I'm just using what I have here at home. Okay, so I'm going to move red and yellow out of the picture for now because those come later. So we're going to get started with our slip knot. This is how I do my slip knot. However you do yours, go for it. And we are actually going to be starting with a chain 4. Now, if you prefer to use magic circles and that's your thing, go for it. I, however, don't like magic circles. They are definitely not my thing. So we're going to go ahead and chain 4. To chain, you just yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, whoops, sorry, and yarn over, and pull through. I know I don't maybe hold my crochet hook the way you do. This is just kind of how I've always done it. So now we do need a circle. So to get that, we're going to come down here to the first chain that we made. We're going to insert our hook. I'm going to kind of pull that away a little bit so I can kind of get my finger in there, my thumb in there a little bit. I'm going to yarn over, pull through, pull through. So we did not make a chain there. We just did a slip stitch. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to move this tail out of my way, and we are going to double crochet 12 times into this little hole that we made. You can see it. I'll put my finger through there. So we're going to double crochet 12 times into that hole. All right, so we're going to yarn over, pull through. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Nope. Can you tell I'm not used to sitting at a desk and doing this at a table? All right, so I'm going to show you that again, hopefully a little bit better this time. We're going to yarn over, put it through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Why isn't this working? Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we are going to do these double crochets all the way through, all the way around. Pull some more yarn out. So we are going to go around. You might have to pull your stitches over a little bit. So we're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going to do that 12 times around the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys do that. I'm going to work on mine and I will meet you back here at the end. Okay, so now I'm back at the beginning here and I've crocheted all the way around. I have 12 stitches. You're going to want to count your stitches and make sure that you do have 12 stitches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into this first stitch that we made here. And I know it's hard to tell because I'm using black yarn, but that's what we are using for this part of the eclipse. So I'm going to put my hook underneath that. So don't know if you can see here. Okay, my hook is under there and I'm going to yarn over, pull through and pull through. So we're going to do a slip stitch there and then we're going to chain 1. Now in that same space where we did the chain 1, we are going to do 2 double crochets into that space. So there's 1, 2, that's a double crochet, and so there's our 2 double crochets. Okay, now we're going to go into this next stitch, underneath this next stitch, and we're going to do 2 double crochets there as well. So there's 1 and 2. So you are going to double crochet into every stitch around 2 times. So 2 double crochets in every stitch all the way around until you get back to the other end. I'm going to work on mine here. I'm going to let you pause the video and do yours all the way around, and then I will meet you back at the end where we started. Okay, so we're back. So here is where we are. I've done 2 double crochets in every stitch around, and you're going to want to count your stitches. I did just do that off camera to make sure I had 24, and I do. So now this stitch right here, where we slip stitch before, this is usually a stitch that you would skip and not do anything with, but because of what we're going to be doing later, we actually want to use that stitch today. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets into that stitch, that type of that false stitch, so that we actually end up having 26 stitches around. Then you're going to go into this first stitch that you made, go underneath just like we did before, and you are going to slip stitch into that stitch to close up the round. This middle hole, this tail that you have, you can go ahead and kind of pull that tight to close in that middle hole. Be careful when you pull. If you pull too hard, you will break your yarn. So now for the next round. So this is round 3. So everybody, after you do your slip stitch here, then make sure you chain one to close that in. Now we're going to, in that spot, we are going to put one double crochet. Okay. Now, in the next stitch, we are going to do 2 double crochets. Then the next stitch, we're going to do 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. Okay, and then 1 double crochet. And this is going to be your pattern all the way around the circle. You're going to do 1 double crochet, and then in the next stitch, 2 double crochets. Then 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. And then I'm going to let you guys go ahead and work on that. Go ahead and feel free to pause the video. I am going to work on that, and I will meet you guys when we get back to the top again. Okay, so I'm ready to do my last stitch in this round. And if you have kept your pattern up and not skipped anything or doubled up on something, then this last stitch that you are ready to do should be 2 double crochets into this stitch, because we started with 1. So in our pattern, this last one should be, you should be ready for 2 double crochets. And that kind of also helps me know that I've gotten my count correct without having to go back and count my stitches. So now I am ready to tie off this round. So to do that, I am going to go underneath this very first stitch we did. I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to pull that out a bit. I'm going to get my scissors out, cut that tail off. I'm going to pull it through and tie off. So this is the first step to our solar eclipse coaster. So now we're going to put away our black yarn and we're going to get out our red yarn. Okay, so I've brought out my red yarn and I'm going to come back up here to the top where I did this slip stitch. I'm going to put my hook through. I'm going to take the end of my red yarn, going to wrap that onto my hook. I'm going to pull that through that stitch. I'm going to yarn over and pull through to attach on. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to just slip stitch around this half of the circle all the way to where we kind of line up from top to bottom. So 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock is where I'm going to slip stitch around my red. So we're just going to go under, pull through, and then pull through. So we're just doing a slip stitch around all the way and kind of line things up from 6 o'clock to 1 o'clock basically. I don't count my stitches when I do this. I know I probably should, but I don't. So I'm going to let you guys do this slip stitch. It doesn't take very long to do this part, but I'm going to let you guys do that and I will meet you down at the bottom. Okay, so excuse me, as you can see, we have gotten down to the bottom. I pretty much have things pretty well lined up from top to bottom. And so what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and tie off this red. So I'm going to cut that and then tie that off. And we are all done with the red part of our coaster. And so now we can get out our yellow yarn. Okay, so now we want to tie on our yellow yarn. And we're going to tie that right in where we started with tying in our red yarn. It's going to pull the yarn over and through, and then we are going to we're going to chain 1 to pull that through. So now we are going to be working with half double crochets through from the top to the bottom. So basically everywhere where we've put our red, we're going to be working with half double crochets. And what we're going to do, so we're going to yarn over and we're going to go in between. This is the tricky part. So we're going to go under in, like we're going to go in this stitch with the red, and then behind it we're going to go with the black that is behind it. Now it's really tricky getting started because there's a lot going on here in this first stitch, because we have tied on several we've tied on several different colors of yarn here. So it's okay if it takes you a minute to get through that. Okay, so you see I have my 3 loops here on my hook. When you do a half double crochet, you're going to pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. You're not going to do what we do for a double crochet. So now that first one, like I said, is pretty difficult. It does get easier as we go on. So you're going to go into the red stitch, and then under the black. Okay, I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so we are going to follow that pattern all the way around to the bottom. So I will let you guys work on that. I will continue working on mine, and then so you can go ahead and pause the video here while you work that, and I will see you guys back at the end. Okay, so I am back at the end here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, after I've gone through this last red stitch, I'm just going to slip stitch into that next black stitch. And then we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. So now instead of seeing the top part of your coaster, you're going to be seeing the back side of the coaster. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to slip stitch under this first yellow and also under the second yellow stitch. Okay. So after you do that slip stitch, you're going to chain 3. Now, this is going to be the only, we're going to start working on our sun rays. This is the only sun ray we're going to only chain 3 for. And I do that because I want it to look small. I want it to look smaller than all the others. So in the first chain from the hook, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch that. Oops. Slip stitch. And then in the next stitch, we are going to do the half double crochet. Okay, now right here, we're going to skip a stitch. And then in the next stitch, we are going to slip stitch 1 and slip stitch into the next one. And you're going to pull this little sun ray out. All right, so now we're ready to our next sunray. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to, in the first chain from the hook, do the slip stitch. Okay, and then in the next chain, we are going to do a single crochet. So you're going to put your hook through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in that third chain from the hook, I'm going to do the half double crochet. Okay, you're going to skip a stitch, go to the next stitch, and slip stitch into the next stitch, and you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into that first chain from the hook, then into the next chain, single crochet, next chain, half double crochet, then skip a stitch. And in the second stitch, we're going to slip stitch, whoops, and slip stitch. Okay, so we're getting our sun rays going. Okay, so I am going to continue working on that. You can pause the video here if you would like and meet me close to the end. Okay, so we will meet back up close to the end so I can show you what to do with that last sunray. Okay, so we are close to the end. I'm going to chain 4, do my slip stitch, do my single crochet, do my half double crochet, okay, skip, and so this is going to be my last one. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to kind of try to finish that off. So I'm going to slip stitch in to the black area to kind of blend that in. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and pull that through and tie off. There we go. And it's okay if it seems to be like folding up a little bit because cotton yarn is really good. You can flatten that out with just the heat from your hands. It will flatten out. So there is our Eclipse coaster. So now the next thing we're going to do is we need to weave in our ends. So that's where we need our tapestry needle. So there aren't a ton of ends to weave in with this. If you have been crocheting for any amount of time, you already know how to weave in your ends. You're just going to try to keep these kind of in the back. You're going to weave your tapestry needle kind of back and forth in the yarn, pull that through. I like to go back and forth about 3 times to secure those tails before I actually, tie them off. Okay, so that's how you weave in your ends. I'm going to let you guys work on that. After you get your tail weaved in, you can just cut off and discard those little pieces. So I am going to let you work on weaving in the rest of your tails, and I will meet you back here at the end. Okay, there we go. I have all of my ends worked in and tied in, and there's the back. So that's what it looks like from the back. But here's the front, and you have your cute little solar eclipse coaster. So here it is, our finished product. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope I was clear enough. It is my first tutorial, so please be kind. And if you did make this coaster, please let us know below in the comments how everything went for you and if you enjoyed making it. If you are new here or you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. We are trying to reach 200 subscribers by the end of August of this year. So thank you all again for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.